That's
Q&A?
time. Anything else there?
Do you want to do a little Q&A? Check the chat room real quick?
Sure.
I'll throw out a question while I'm checking the chat room. With all this content you're creating, I'm sure people ask you, well, if I'm putting all this stuff on the blog, what if I'm a writer or a book author, or I make info products or ebooks or packages or CDs? Then what's left for me to put into my products?
All that content you're creating?
Right, but I think people kind of get scared that...
Yeah, I understand the question. I understand the question because I hear this a lot. The thing is, this is from experience and what I've heard from other people, you could give away every single thing that you've ever written or created on your blog in the series of blog posts, and people still want the product because they want it all bundled in one easy package. They're willing to pay for the convenience. And if it's a hardcover product, or like let's say it's a hardcover book or it's a CD or that sort of thing, people like what could be called the souvenir, the actual physical product. The other thing is that when you are creating this content, you need to be strategic about it. Maybe not give it all away, but give parts of it away. So you might be creating an info product on 10 steps to groom your dog. Well, you give them 1 or 2 steps and then a link to buy the product and get the rest of the 10 steps.
Yeah.
So you don't have to give away every single thing, but you could, and you would still be able to sell things.
And people that ask that question, you'd also say, well, you could basically find any piece of information online with Google and Wikipedia, but people still buy books, they buy products and CDs because they want somebody that's an expert that's digested it for them into, like you're saying, a souvenir or an easy filtered format.
Exactly.
Yeah, one of our questions is, where do I find videos and photos to post to my blog?
Okay, well, videos, YouTube.
Right.
And I believe the terms of service on YouTube is that, because they have those embed codes, you can grab any video there unless it says otherwise.
Yeah, they have a pretty, they will disable that embed code if the copyright holder deems it not worthy to be on YouTube. So everything on YouTube that's embeddable is free game. If you can't embed it, you can always link to it.
Exactly. Now, as for photos, well, there's tons of stock photo sites, but you'll usually have royalty-free photo sites, but you generally have to pay for those. But a site like Flickr, which is a photo sharing site, many of the photos that people upload, they allow others to use. So you need to look for the Creative Commons attribution. What is the author of the photo or the artist of the photo actually allowing you to do? But and I believe now you can search on Flickr for photos that are available for free use.
Yeah, just go to Flickr, do a search, and then you should see a link that says Advanced Search, and then you can search by license and look for the license called Use for Commercial Use.
Right. Right. So there are a lot of sources. If you're not comfortable doing that, then iStockPhoto.com has an enormous selection of photos and some.
I love that site.
Yeah, I do too. I use it a lot. So you pay $1 for a photo or something. They've got great photos. So and other kinds of imagery. So there's a ton of. You could always do a Google search on royalty-free photos, royalty-free video, and you're going to get a lot of options there.
Great. That's all the questions we have so far. Folks, if you have questions during the call, feel free to pop them into the chat and Q&A windows on the screen. And if you have to jump off the call early, that's completely fine. We've got a recording we'll send out to you once it's available. All right.
Okay, so now that you're so efficient with your blogging, how do you get people to actually visit and read your blog, right? That's the other big question. How do I get people to my blog? Well, that's called driving traffic to your blog. And really, what I've been experiencing lately is that social networking sites are driving an enormous amount of traffic to my blogs. The other thing, I think it's a tie almost between organic search results and social networking. So to maximize your traffic, which is, of course, important for building your business, because the more eyeballs you see, the more people connect with you, they take those steps to become a client or customer. You want to make sure that you are set up and active on at least a few of the big social networking sites. And I'll talk about that in a minute. But a big one to pay attention to is, you can go to the next slide, is Google profile. Google now, Google is the gigantic monster of the search engines, as you know, and they now give you the option to create a profile on Google. And in that profile, you can put links to all your blogs and everything else that you wanted to do, your website, your products, etc. I mean, I've got ones to free reports here. So the thing that's so powerful about this is that if somebody searches on your name, and people do search on people's names all the time, your Google profile comes up at the bottom of the first page of results. So you want to make sure that your Google profile is set up and that you have at the very least your bio on there and links to any blogs that you want people to visit, because that's a great source of traffic. Definitely do that. Then the other, the biggies, of course, are Facebook. So if you can go to the next slide. You want to make sure that your blog is being distributed to all the social networking sites, because not everybody is going to find your blog without you telling them about it. But you might have Facebook friends who have no idea you have a blog. You might have Twitter followers who have no idea, and they're never on Facebook. So you want to be linked to all these places at the very minimum. So in Facebook, you want to use the Notes application to set up your blog feed to feed automatically into your profile every time you have a new blog post. And that's what I'm showing you here. So you want to do that. On the next slide, LinkedIn also has this. It's actually developed by typepad. It's called Blog Link. So again, you can set it up so that your blog feed is pulled in to your LinkedIn profile. I mean, this is huge because a lot of people who use LinkedIn may never use Facebook, so they'll never see that. But if you're writing compelling topics, I mean, let me say that, compelling headlines or blog post titles, that's really important. You're going to create curiosity and people will click through. Not everybody, but some people will click through to your blog posts, and that's the whole key, is you want to drive people off of these social networking sites onto your home base or your hub of your blog so that you can go deep and intimate with them.